Everybody, this is Tina from Rehatch Designs. This is my happy place. I'm back. I was getting ready to clean up my craft room for making some of my boho beads. I think I did that last time. And I had a lot of people ask, where I get all my beads and stuff. And honestly, I have a lot because I used to make some jewelry and things, and and then I think I hit like some Hobby Lobby clearance sales, and I buy things like that. But I also got stuff from garage sales and my own old costume jewelry that I had. So I thought would be a really fun thing, because I had brought all this stuff up and had it in a box, just a shoe box. And before I put it all away, because I was going to do that, I have a huge mess on my desk for making the boho beads, and that's why I make so many. When I make things, you have to take out a lot of stuff to kind of know what you're going to use. And it's just like when you're making a journal, you've got a lot of stuff out to decide what you want. And the hardest part for me of junk journaling is putting things away. And so I try and do my best to I'm not going to pull everything out to make one or two things. I just make a lot. Okay. And I actually thought I'm actually going to make some more boho beads, and I may put some on my Etsy shop or whatever, or do giveaways with them. But I wanted to kind of harvest some of my old jewelry in making them, because I had been meaning to do this. It was sitting in a big shoe box, and I actually have more than this. This is just part of it. And I'll show you all that. But I thought, it would make a good video to just kind of let you guys know what the process is and what kind of things to look for and what you can do with stuff that would be considered junk. Okay. Styles change. Things that you liked a while back, you may have worn, or other people may have worn. Maybe they're not wearing. But it's exactly the kind of stuff that you need in a junk journal. So just for me, I like reusing things, and I'm kind of a little upset with myself because when I was making the boho beads, I thought, I don't have enough color of this bead or that bead or this bead. And it's so easy to go online and order from Amazon, and it's here in a day or two. And I did order some things, and now I'm a little upset with myself because I really should have sourced my house, things in my home that I already had. And I'm trying to do that more in this culture where we're a click away from ordering things. And plus, you're recycling things and using them in a different way, and they're getting another life. So anyway, enough of that. But I just wanted to say that there are ways to get this stuff done cheaply. Now, I have to say, the stuff that I bought, I probably will do a Amazon haul or whatever, just to let you know what I bought and how much it was, and just so that where you can get things. There's certain things you're gonna have to get, but a lot of stuff you'd be surprised. The other thing too is check garage sales. Well, now I guess a lot of places aren't having garage sales. Thrift stores usually have a whole bunch of jewelry. I have found, though, I've gone, and a lot of times I think they're very overpriced for what they want, for costume jewelry, because sometimes, well, at least the ones I've been going to. So a lot of times too, you'll find like a big box of stuff. People will be selling a whole, because it's costume jewelry, they're not going to get a lot. So Anyway, getting back to that, these are kind of the things that I have out. And I thought what we could do is I can show you the kind of things that you can use with this jewelry, and how to cut it up and do that, and maybe even have some time to mix something. So let's just get right to it, okay? First off, one of the things, of course, are necklaces, and let's just pick one right here. All right, this is the obvious. You're gonna guys have to watch it because some of the stuff is tangled up, and I thought I untangled most of it, but okay. So at some point in time, I probably wore these, okay, and they had all these little dangles and stuff on them. So I'm probably not going to use these again. I'm going to move this stuff over. I don't want to put it all in one pile again. I put this in the shoebox, right? And all I did is went from downstairs to upstairs. And then I came in here and it was tangled up so bad. And I thought, I don't even understand how that happened. Okay, so you're going to need a few tools to cut this stuff apart. And the reason I say cut it apart is that you're going to forget you have it if you don't do that, I think. So again, like I said, you can get a basic set. If you order online, most of the time you'll get one of these things that we used to twist our ends. This is just the pliers to hold it, and this is to cut it, and this is another set of pliers, okay? Just some basic tools to take these apart. The same kind of tools you need to make jewelry. Okay, first of all, on this, so this is harvesting, and I like to take, I have stuff in this, these little trays that I got from the dollar store. I love them for stuff like this. So I'll take my tray out, okay, and I'll put different parts in different pieces. First of all, when you're making junk journals, you will find that you use chain quite a bit. And even though this chain is rather small, it still can be used in different ways, like on a tassel, or if you want to make a charm, like a little charm dangle or something like that. Now this has, on the bottom of it, has a little jump ring, and then it has the chain and then the pendant. So we just want to separate those. So we're going to take our pliers. This is why I like the bent ones. And you hold it. And then you can just bend it very easily. It's the way that you grip it to hold it with these. And it, instead of going out like this with straight, you can hold it like up like that. And that is, that helps a lot. Okay, so you've got a chain, a piece of chain now. You've got a pendant, and you've got a jump ring. Now, I would probably close this up a little because it'll get tangled. So you've got different parts from that, okay? So here, let's do this one. Has several parts to it. All right, so now this has several jump rings on it. Let me look and see if you guys will be able to see that if I need to get in a little closer. Maybe a little closer. Yeah. Okay. So, so we're going to take the jump ring, and we're just going to open it up. You twist one way, then the other way. And so we have this little pendant. So you could see that on the bottom. You could use that in a you know, a charm, a dangle, or whatever. I'm going to put that over here. So this has several jump rings on it attached to it. So we're going to have to open these up to get these things off. So you just find the opening wherever that is, and it will show up eventually. Here we go. So here we go. There's your opening. And I dropped it. Okay, hold on. That's the problem, is you're doing it out in front of you instead of right close to you. So Let me hold that. Okay, hang on to that a little bit tighter this time. And all I'm doing is I'm twisting it a little bit to open it and get that off. Now this is kind of big. I don't know if I'd use it, but what the heck. We're going to put it in the pile. And then we've got this, a jump ring. And then it's got this little teeny tiny bead on there that's dangling, and I think that's kind of cool. I'm probably just going to leave that on the jump ring. So take that off. So now we've got another piece of chain. And I'm going to go ahead and twist this back because I don't want it in there if it's going to be open. And I'm just leaving it on there just because I probably will use it that way. So I'll put that in there. Okay, so that's one all taken apart, and we've got all these pieces. But let me just kind of show you different things that you may want to use, okay? So that was very easy to take apart, obviously. Okay, here is a very chunky necklace. I don't know, this is when we were wearing the kind of statement type things or whatever. And there are several parts on this. First of all, the beads on this are great. Okay, then you've got, I love these big chain like this. And I'm just saying this so, like, if you're looking at something, and even if you don't like the beads, look at some of the other things on there. Okay, this also has these great cat beads that are on there. If you look at all of these little stones in there, but you know, they've tarnished, which is actually, in my opinion, good. Now here's something you may want to think about. If we take this apart and take each bead apart, then all of this work of putting this together is taken apart. And I may not want, now I may want to take it apart down the road and I need that bead, but what I would do in this case, because this could make a really cool dangle just by itself, maybe it goes that way, okay, is just take this apart from here and keep that one piece. So for instance, let me get my pliers again. Okay, so I'm taking the big chain off of here. All right, so that is like in pieces, but I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to put it in there. Well, maybe not. This is really heavy duty there. But what I'm saying is I'm going to take this other big long piece and I'm going to go ahead and take it off of there, but I'm not sure I'm going to, I probably would separate that. I probably would. But I don't know for sure yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the jump ring on the end. Oops. Because all I'm saying is if you're going to use it together like that, or you think you may use it, then why redo something? Why go through the trouble of having to redo it? Okay. So that's off of there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this bottom of the jump ring so it'll be on there, because that way in the future when I want to attach this to something. Now see, this is this part right here, and then there's a big chain right there, and I'm going to save all these pieces of this chain because I may want to put it all together and make a real, it is a little harder to take apart, but not that hard. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there with the jump rings. So now I have this piece, and I may or may not want to have that as, I may want to put that on just like that, and put that on a journal. And then I may not. Later on, I may decide, no, that's not really what I want. Or this one, I may decide, hey, I want to put that on. So what I'm saying is don't necessarily take it completely apart until you know what you want to do. Now, later on, I may decide, oh, I need that stone or I need that, and then take it apart. But for right now, I'm taking it apart, but I'm not completely going to, see, like you have this here, and that is really pretty cool. So, and like I said, I'm keeping those big chain because I think that I could use that later, maybe. Even just a piece of it. Okay, so here I have another dangle, This could just be dangling right off the bottom of a, you know, or the back of a journal, you know, and there, you know, that's, let me show you. Okay, so here's a little dangle, and guess what's on this? Okay, you've got this clip, so let me mess with that for a minute. I'm going to take it apart, take all the pieces off. Take those off. So now we're putting that in our pin. That's going in there. So this has still got a little thing on there, but let's just say we could take actually one of these bigger jump rings. Remember I told you we might use those? So what if I like the bigger jump rings when I'm dangling something, just because of the fact it actually will stay on there good. Okay, so I'm going to hold that steady and then move this in. You never want to pull them apart because it makes them weak. Okay, so that's nice and easy. Now look at that. You could actually just clip that on, you know, on a journal, just like that. Okay, there you go. And that's why I'm saying you don't necessarily want to take it completely apart. You may want to just take it like this and then say, okay, now wait a minute, let me see. Now I'm going to take this off just because I may not want it all together like that, but we'll see, because I may want to use that lobster claw for something else. So anyway, I'm going to put that separate, and I kind of put my tool stuff all in one little section. When I say not tool, but my utilitarian type pieces like spacers and all that. Anyway, I'm kind of dividing this up. I've got another tray here where I put the dangle, so I'll put that in there separately from the pendants, and I'll put the jump rings and the lobster claw in another one. Anyway, the chain will go in another one, that kind of a thing. So I'm not going to finish doing this one. I'm just going to give you an idea on another one. Okay, here's the same thing as we had in the other, but we won't do that. So, all right, so let's see here. Oh, okay. Earrings. Give me a break, guys. This was some earrings that I wore that I probably would not wear now. Okay, but this is really cool. And could you see that on our Gypsy journal or whatever? So really all you have to do on this is very simple. Is you just have to take the earring part off, and you've got this little loop here. So let's just say you take even one of the jump rings we just harvested, and you would put that on. Okay, and this is ready at this point to dangle on something. Okay, you can put this, just, you know, just hook that on the bottom of maybe one of our, let's say we wanted to put it on here or something. You would just put this on with that jump ring right there. Okay, so I mean, that's something you want to make sure. Here's one. And we all have those earrings that we lost one of, or ones that we don't wear anymore. Okay, this is kind of tarnished on the edges and stuff. I mean, it was just costume jewelry. I don't think it was real silver, but to me, that's kind of the look we want. So we're just clipping off the earring part. All of it didn't come off. Let me get it all off. I have to just not, yeah, there we go. It's coming off now. So now we have this, and we can put a little jump ring on that, and that can be a dangle right there. Let's see. Here's a little pearl that I'm sure at one time I thought was really cool, but I mean, that would, you can put that like at the bottom of a dangle that you make or something. I think I made it, I put a pearl earring thing that I had on the bottom of one of my tassels that I made when I did the mermaid journal, and I thought it was kind of cute, and it was something I probably would have just thrown away. Okay, so I'm only cutting this, see, not on this part, not on the, okay, if I can get up close enough. You don't want to cut it here, because that's what you would hook something to. You want to just cut the earring part that's above it. And then there you go. So you have that part still intact. so that when you go to hook something on there, or you want to hook it on, like here's a jump ring, you want to be able to have something to hook it to, like that, okay? So you don't want to cut that part, and plus it would make this come apart. Now you may want just the pearl, but to me, there's work that's already done here, okay? They've already put this on an eye pin and looped it and put another thing, so I would just probably use it like that, okay? Here's another earring, okay? Now this one, I don't necessarily like this thing on the bottom. You know, it's kind of weird looking to me. So I would probably, and then, you know, everyone has to decide, what are you going to use it for? So I'm going to take that, just the earring part off, and leave the dangle. What I'm going to do, I don't know, I'll leave it, and then I'll just decide later. It's no big deal, okay? This is an earring that I wore as a costume, a gypsy, years ago. It's kind of tarnished, but okay, where did the top part of it go? I don't know, maybe it's not there. Oh, here it is, here it is. Okay, so it kind of goes like this, and I could take this apart and use each individual one, but I'm going to kind of leave it the way it is. I'm going to take the little earring part off of it, because I know I'm not going to wear it as an earring, but so I'm going to take that off. Again, I'm leaving the little ring on there. And so I may even want to put this like in front of a journal, or I may want to take the pieces apart. I don't know yet, so I'll probably just put this in the little stash that I have up there. Okay. All right, this is part of a necklace, okay? And this stone part's really cool, all right? This chain, even though it's not a long piece of chain, you'd be surprised how often you'll need a short piece like this. Like, okay, if you're doing the top of a, like a little, of a journal, and you want to add a few charms just to the top, it only takes a small piece, so you don't want to get rid of that. So anyway, I'm going to take this apart, and I'm going to do it and try and take off these pieces down here. And I could open them rather than cut them. If I open them, then I can reuse each little strand. So there's several on each one. Actually, I think I'm going to cut them, because I don't think I would use them that way. Now, I'm not going to cut this ring here, because again, if I want to hang this from something, then I have to, you know. Okay, so I got that. It's not coming off though. It might be easier just to, is it coming off now? No, I'm going to have to open it. Might be too hard to get this apart right now, because I can't see it real well. Where's the opening? It's got to be there somewhere. So you're just taking it off at the point that you want it off, okay? And so now we've got these little pieces of chain here. Like I said, you'd be surprised how often you need a little piece. And I will just take this. Here's another one right here. There's just two little rings you've got to undo, so. Okay, where is it? Just looking for the opening. There we go. All right. So I'll take that off. Now this portion here, there's like a string or something. Oh, I probably should have just cut that to begin with, because guess what? It's on there with the string. Okay, well, never mind all that. Went through all that trouble, and we could have just done this. Okay. So here we have this, which I like, and I'll put that in here. Now, we got to be careful. And this is what I do. I take a little cup thing here. And the reason I do that is if you want to pour this stuff into something, it's easy to do it in there with a cupcake holder. Now there's some little beads here that I would kind of separate these out, okay? Because I have one that I have like turquoise beads, and then I have another one. So I will put this in a little thing that I know that I need to sort those, okay? Right? And then if you notice, there's these silver spacers. That's another thing, guys. You know, when I talked when we were doing our boho beads about spacers and things like that, I said if you take apart jewelry, you will be surprised how much spacers and things are in them that you can get, you know, basically for free. Okay, so I'm going to throw away that part. But these are all little spacers that came out of just that one little necklace. Take them all out. And then I will put those in a separate pile just because when I go to grab a spacer, all right, I know I'm not going to do all these different, but anyway, so I've gotten all those spacers out of that one necklace, and I can just put them in here. Let me get that piece of lace out of there. One bounced around, but that's okay. I've got a few extras in there, but you get the idea. And then what I do on my little seed beads like this, I have this little thing full of seed beads that are mixed up that they spill all over. I will just take this little cupcake thing. This is why I like to put it in there, because then that way you can just dump it in there, okay? So if I just need one or two little seed beads, I always have this on my desk, and they're all mixed up, and I keep them all separate while I have them, but if some spill out or I'm too lazy to put them back, I just pour them in here, and they're all different colors, just the small ones. And then if I need one or two, I can just get it out of there. And those are just the little plastic containers that you get at the dollar store, and I love those. Okay, so here is an earring that I don't even know if I ever wore this. I don't know where the other one is, but you guessed it, guys. Is that not a great idea? See, I don't know if you would take it off from here or from here. But anyway, I'm just going to cut the top of that off. And then I'm just taking the earring part off, not the round part, because we want to be able to. Now, if you want to save these to make earrings, let me just show you that. This has an opening on the bottom, just like any of the jump rings do. Okay, so you could just go like that. And sometimes it's easier to do that than to cut it. And then you could save this, you know, but I have a bunch of them, so I'm not worried about it. So anyway, I would put this in my pendant file over here. Okay, now here, look at these earrings. Have no idea if I ever wore these, but look at this. I was looking for something for the bottom of this. Now, how that would have been so cool, right? I mean, not that I don't dislike what's on there, but look at that, right? Very boho. In fact, I think I'm going to put that on there because I could just see, right? But all I'm saying is that shop your house, because all right, so I've got that. I'm going to put that in there. Now, of course, you could take the other beads off the bottom, but like I said, in that necklace, you don't want to necessarily cut things apart, because the way they are might be kind of cool to use them that way. So let me cut that out. Here's the other part of the earring. I have a feeling I never wore these, but I don't remember that. I don't remember. I think it came with a necklace that I liked the necklace, but I didn't like the earrings. Okay, so here's one here. No idea. I doubt if I ever wore these, but I think somebody gave them to me. All right, what is going on? Okay, and they kind of hang like that. But you could take that. It's an earring. Let's cut it. so we can get that apart. You could take that in and of itself, if you ever can find the top of it, right? You could take this by itself if you can find the top. I can't figure it out now that I took the thing off. You could just take that and take a jump or a bulb pin and put it in. Oh, I can't get it to where it's going to be, and put it on the here it is. Here it is. You could put that just by itself somewhere, like on the, you know, on top of a journal or something like that. So I would put that there. Okay, this is one earring, and it's a couple of I guess leaves or feathers. So obviously, you know, you could use that. Let me take that apart. I'm doing this as we're talking so that I can actually see. So that'd be cute. Let's move on to something else. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this necklace, okay, obviously has a lot of really nice beads that I wouldn't wear now, but in a journal like the boho journal, these would be great. But not only that, check out these spacers in between, right? But here's the thing on this. These are already put together. You have a bead, a spacer, a bead. I'm not going to take this all apart and take that part apart until I know for sure that I want to use the beads separately, because let me show you. I'm going to take this apart. And I'm going to take this chain off of here. I'm not going to cut. I'm going to leave the loop part on there, okay? Let's see, how far down does this go? And this is kind of tangled up, so I'm kind of trying to work with what I got here. And I'm trying to keep all of the pieces intact up here. All right, let me get that chain off of there. So I'm going to try and do this. See, I'm not cutting the loop part. I'm cutting just the chain part. And I may have to twist the chain because it's not going to come off unless I get it right to the edge here. I'm going to have to bring it closer to me so I can see it. All right, so here we go. There we go. So now I have this long piece like this, and it's already together, right? I may want to put that on a clip and have it dangle like that, or let me show you on another piece. All right, so let me take this one apart too. Or what I may want to do is, see here, each one of these is 2 beads together, and then this part right here is what it's attached to, okay? So what we may want to do is we may want to open this up, all right? Let me see if that's looped and where the opening is. There's an opening on that, right? Take one of these off. You may want to use this just as a dangle, okay? You may want to put this on something and have it dangle because you've already got the 2 pieces together. But until I know that, until I know whether I'm going to use it as just a long dangle like that, or these 2 pieces like that, or individually, I will just put that aside as one, you know, as a long piece like that. See? I'll just leave that together until I decide what I want to do. All right, so anyway, I'll finish that later. And then, of course, guys, here, I'll just do this real quick. What that does, again, is it gives you more chain. This chain is kind of small to dangle things from, but you maybe can use it. I don't know. It's kind of small. I don't know whether I'd use it. Okay, but here you go. So that's what you got out of that. The same thing with these kind of necklaces, okay? They would make necklaces with these little dangles off the side, okay? I'm not going to take this all apart now because it'd be kind of intricate, but if you can see this, each one of these has its own little eye pin attached to it. And I'm going to take one apart just to show you. And you would just twist that, and if you can see it, it comes right off. Okay, so if you take that apart, I wouldn't take the bead and everything out of there, because this way you could just attach this to something as a dangle, and you know, it's already put together. So I would take it apart, which on that one's going to take some time. And that's another thing, guys. This is a good thing to do like while you're watching TV or whatever. Just have something to separate all the pieces into. Like, see, I would put that in my bead section, and I just start taking it all apart. You've got little crystal dangles on there. You've got charm dangles, all kinds of stuff. Oh, got an earring attached to it. Okay. Anyway, so that's something to do. This, you know, it's kind of hard to use all these pieces like that, but if you want just the bead out of that, you could just easily go in with your little snippers right here and cut that, and then cut the other side. And there you've got a bead, okay? So, and then, you know, here's one that has a bunch of dangles on it. But the thing this has that's very interesting to me is it has these great big hoops, these loops here. Which, honestly, guys, there's a lot of things you could use it for. So, and of course, it's got this good chain here. And these great black beads that are dangling. So you can take those apart. Okay, now there's a jump ring right attached to the above it. So you can take that apart first. And like I said, I leave the jump rings because in the end, usually you have to add a jump ring to something to add it to. So this way it's already there. Okay, I'm going to take that off. Alright. I'm going to probably just put the jump ring in here, and then here's a bead that you can use. Okay, now here's the part that I'm telling you that might be interesting. Where did it go to? Well, I took that all apart for a reason. Goodness gracious. Okay, I don't know where I was. This thing's a big hot mess. Alright, so what I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to cut this if I can. It might be too thick to cut. Okay, so this cut, and I'm opening it up. Okay, so this could be used, and I really didn't open it the right way. I did exactly what I told you not to. You want to push it together. Oh, it went flying across the room. Let me find another one. Here's one right here. We'll do this one. This is a round one, and it does have an opening in it. Okay? You always want to pull them, not pull them apart, but you want to twist them opposite direction to open it. Okay? And that's what I don't know if I did it enough. I don't think I did it enough. Hold on. Now granted, this is harder because it's a heavier metal. But these would be really cool when you're making a tassel. You can use this for that, and then you can just attach them later, you know, and just put them back. Something like that. And so you've got all these different rings on here that definitely you could use for different things on your journal. You can use it to attach a tassel. It's kind of hard to put together. Not gonna lie, guys, this is, yeah, there we go. It's a little bit heavier duty, but it's doable. Okay, so I would definitely take all these rings off of here and use those. Not to mention the beads, but so that's something that you may want to look into. Let me get all these little beads off of here. They're going to drive me nuts. Okay. Okay, a broken necklace, for instance. Okay, this has some great chain on it. I like the size of this chain. But then you've got this little crystal kind of chain with it. You can use that as part of your decoration. Okay, this has these beads on it. You can take that apart. Of course, again, you've got this pendant that you could use. I definitely could see that on a tassel, or maybe even the front. Let me take this apart real quick. I'm just going to cut that. All right. So again, we always want to leave the ring on there if we can. Okay, so you've got that. Of course, you've got these pieces right here that you could take apart. There's a lot to that. But let's just say, for instance, we didn't even have that on there. You could put, let me take that off for a second so you can see. You could take something like this, just that piece, and you know, you could put that on a journal just like that. Okay, you know, the same with like this one. See, that could be really pretty on there. You just have to think of it, you know, in a new form. And let me see here. All right, let's see. Yeah, here's the top jump ring. I knew I left it on there. I'm like, okay, where is it? I mean, a lot of time all you need to make these useful is just a ball pen. So, and I tell you what, I bought some off of Amazon, and I had like a lifetime supply, and they were not expensive at all. Don't buy the little packages at the Hobby Lobby or whatever, because you get ripped off. Okay, so I mean, even that. Okay, really, guys, that wasn't hard, right? Oh, actually, that's the top right there. That goes up there. But anyway, you get the idea. So, I mean, there's so many things you can do with that. Okay, this thing, again, all right, you've got this big thing here. Well, I don't know, maybe you want to put this at the end or something of a charm or whatever. But in the meantime, you've got, I don't want to take that apart. I'm just going to open it if I can. I don't know if it has an opening in there. I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I would take that and I would leave it as is, because who knows? You may want to use it like that, and you may not later on. You'll say, I don't want it. But you have the whole thing together rather than reinventing the wheel there. Now on this part, okay, so look, you may want to put this just as a part of your tassel, and then see, you've got all these little, see all these little rings in here? You can attach, well, here, let me give you a better example. Excuse me, guys, my allergies are still killing me. You can attach, I'm going to do this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't really know where I would take this apart, but maybe right here. Okay, like for instance, let's just say that you're using part of this as a tassel, a part of your tassel. It wouldn't be that long, but let's just say that part. you can take some of these loose beads here, and because you have all of these little chains in between already, that allows you just to put that on there and hook it on. And it's better to have 2 pairs of pliers to do this, but look, see? So you can have little dangles hanging off of that. Anything. I mean, you can take some of these little charms, like see this? You could dangle that off of there. So I wouldn't necessarily take this apart, you know, for the beads. I would leave it together like this. I mean, take the chain part of it out and do like we did with that other necklace, because you don't know, you may want to use it all together. And like I said, why take it all apart? Okay. I don't know if I have anything else to tell you. Okay, this is something, this is just part of like a dog tag thing, and it's gotten kind of rusted and old. I mean, this has so many uses. So look for things like that, okay? That's a good thing to have. Oops, boy, I thought that was going to go crashing. Okay, this is something that has all these different pieces on it like that, and they're kind of tarnished. But these would be cool to take apart and use in different pieces on their own, or dangle them or whatever. Or you could take the whole thing and maybe put it in the front of a journal or something like that, okay? All right, now the other thing that I was going to show you, I don't want those to fall. Okay, let me see what time we have here. We got a little bit of time, but not a lot. Is other things that you can source from, okay? So if you go to any of those flea markets or anything and they have the super cheap jewelry, like for 25 cents or something, don't think of it like, would I ever wear that jewelry? The seed beads on this, I bought these because they were like, I'm pretty sure they were $5 for $1 or something like that. Some ridiculously, which, you know, I probably would not wear this. I mean, some people would, but I don't. I don't really wear that much jewelry anymore. I retired, you know, a couple of years ago from banking, where I wore jewelry every day and dressed up every day. And now it's just shocking when I do. But the seed beads alone in this are definitely worth the 25 cents, okay? If you like the color or whatever. And you know what? If you want to, you can take it apart for these other parts too. They're not that great a quality, but just the beads, if you want them, and it's easy to do, you just cut them. Let's see if I can put them in something. Let's take it out of this one. All right, I always have a jar or something when I'm doing this. So all you're going to do on this is really easy, because they're all on string, but it can make a mess. Have a little jar or something and just cut them, and then they will start falling off. Ooh, yeah, be careful, because they'll start falling everywhere. Get all of that in there. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so anyway, they will fall right off, and all of a sudden you're going to have beads everywhere. So I would they just come right off, and you slide them off, and then, like I said, use your little cupcake holders. They work great, or a coffee filter too, but the cupcake holder really actually is the right size, and they just slide right off. And this is the same with old necklaces that have little beads on them. Just harvest those beads, because you never know when you're going to need them. Okay, so we have a few that didn't get in there, but that's okay, because like I said. Anyway, so I was actually looking for some small ones this color, and I didn't even realize I had this. So that's a great way to get, you know, jewelry for super cheap, or beads for super cheap. So I'm going to put those aside. Okay, so another thing is, of course, estate sales or whatever. I'm not kidding. I got this at a garage sale, and I was like, I don't know, it was like 50 cents for a big bag full of stuff. And I think this person probably at one point made their own resin jewelry. So it's very kind of psychedelic. But you could definitely use this stuff. Like my next boho journal is going to not be as glitzy, but it's going to be it's going to be colorful. But anyway, some of this stuff could definitely work. You just have to be able to attach it. It's very bright. It's very colorful. And I think I was a big bag full of stuff. I didn't even really look at it when I got it. But I would say pretty positive that she probably made her own jewelry. But you could just put a jump ring on that, let it dangle for something. That's just kind of a cool way to use it. Of course, there's other stuff in here, other pieces. Like this is a bracelet, one of these little stretch bracelets. I mean, all you have to do, where's my little thing, with that is you just have to cut it. And then all of a sudden you've got a bunch of little beads that you did not have before to work with. Okay, so that's all you had to do there. All you would have to do on any of these earrings, very tangled up here, is again the same thing as you would cut. Got things tangled up. And then you would put a jump ring through that little hole and it could dangle off of something. So that's just another choice. Oh, and I forgot to tell you on the cheap jewelry. Okay, so they had these, and I think I have a little elephant in there too. But, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't wear that, especially with the little leopard thing. But, and it was broke. So, I don't know. I think I might have got it for 10 cents or something crazy. But I already did it to 1. I don't know if I can do it as quickly. You have to kind of pry it loose. I don't know if we have time for this. But I did do it on the 1. Well, I'll have to mess with it. I had to get something underneath it and kind of pry it up. But underneath this is just this metal. So this could be like a cute little dangle, butterfly dangle. And anyway, like I said, yeah, I can see it opening right there. You just have to pry it open. I did it on the 1. I just didn't have time to, yeah, see, it popped right off. So these just pop right off. I don't know if I can get that other one off without. Anyway, I'll have to mess with it more, but they pop right off, and you could use that. And this is like 25 cents. And again, there's the chain too. So that's just something to think of. The other thing, don't think of just the jewelry part of it. This was part of a tassel, and I like the material on the bottom. So you've got that. It's some kind of ribbon. You know, so usually it's not. I already started taking this apart. I think I used the top part of it for something. You know, so you really want to, you know, look at all of the pieces of your jewelry. The other thing is don't look at, oh, here's some more jewelry. This is a bracelet, and obviously I don't use all these pieces. Now this is a little bit harder to take apart, but you still use the same thing. And it's only because this is done on memory wire, which is kind of hard to cut, but it's very cuttable. And you just do the same thing. Excuse me, my voice. You're just going to take it apart, you know, and then save all your beads, because there's a lot of different colors in here. So you may want to use this, but it's just done with a wire that's a little thicker, and it just takes a little bit more work, but it's the same idea. You're just going to basically pull it apart. So that's what you would do there. Here's old earrings. Get that off of here. Same thing. You could just cut that. Comes all apart. Okay. So now you've got all those beads. Okay. So that's just the idea. Don't be afraid to cut stuff up. Look at it differently. I mean, now these beads have a completely different chance at a new life, you know. And like I said, I went and ordered a bunch of stuff, and because I didn't feel like I had the colors I wanted. And then I looked at all this stuff and I said, oh my God, what was I thinking? Because honestly, I obviously, I don't need it. I mean, I just don't need it. Like, I needed some more pink. Well, there's some pink beads right there, okay? I needed more orange. There's some orange beads right there, okay? So, anyway, just kind of, you know, shop your house and think of things that way. This is not even jewelry, okay? Some of it is, okay? These are little dangles that I got those. I think this is a little button, okay? These are little dangles that were done. Let me see. I don't even remember. Are they pins? Yeah, these are little pins, okay? This one is a dangle. I'm going to put them up in the dangle section. Here's one here. And as gaudy as this is, honestly, guys, this would be so cool even on this journal. I mean, check that out, right? That is, you know, it goes with it, okay? So you could have that dangling on there, or you could make that a centerpiece of a journal or something. So even, I think I got this at Hobby Lobby and it was like 25 cents. Okay, so sometimes when you go, check out their stuff that is super gaudy and think about it in those terms. Not would I wear it, but would my journal wear it, okay? All right, so anyway, I know I paid nothing hardly for that. And what I wanted, oh, here's another one, and I know I paid hardly anything for that. I forgot, I needed to put all those in a different spot because I even forgot I had them. Okay, guys, these, get this. Does that not look boho to you? And these are super lightweight, okay? And you can put them together. Again, I'm going to take this other thing off of there so we don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Take that off. All right. Just say, same thing, guys. You could put that on there. Look at that. Is that not cool? That's perfect, right? Perfect. And it's super lightweight too. Here's the thing. This is part of Christmas tree trim. All right? That was Christmas tree trim. All of this was like one big long trim. That's why it's so lightweight and it's plastic. This was all attached together, like this would be here and this would be here, like that. And I don't, you know, I don't decorate, I didn't decorate my tree with it, but this was like after Christmas. And I think I paid all of either 50 cents or $1 for this big old long strand. Oh, here's another one of those. Look at that, guys. See? This was the stuff I bought for, I mean, nothing. Nothing. I know I paid absolutely, because I didn't even know what I was going to use it for. Okay? So, here's another one. All right? See, like on this one, you could use this on a romantic journal or whatever. You could put that on the side. You could put that on a dangle or whatever. But all I'm saying on these though, and this was a different one. This one was just the clear ones, okay? This was part of a Christmas tree decoration. So it was after Christmas when they marked stuff down, and so I bought it. And I had no idea what I was going to use it for. But it was either like 50 cents or $1. It was super, super cheap. So just, you know, think of things differently. Think of them like, well, you know, what could I use that for? All right. So anyway, that's that. And let's see if I had anything else I wanted to show you. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I just want you, oh yeah, here we go. The other thing too is stuff on scarves and things like that. Don't even back just even a few years ago, there was all this stuff that people would put on scarves and all this stuff, at least in the DFW area. I don't know if they were that glitzy everywhere else, but don't look at that stuff too. Don't just toss it. Look at that, because you may have, you know, pieces in that you may want to use. Also, let's see, what else did I have? This was part of some jeans or something that one of my sons had, and this came on their jeans, and I thought this was really cool for some reason. Red by Mario Echo or something. Look at that. I mean, you can find usage for a lot of this stuff that would normally get thrown away, and or things that are just like super cheap, just because you know people are no longer using it. And take it apart, use it, put it in your stash, share it. It's just not expensive to do this. And I know people say things like on my trims and whatever. I bought all of that at a thrift store, and I know I did not pay very much for it, because honestly, even when I bought it, I didn't have anything particular in mind. So, and the trick to finding things like that is going often enough, because it's a very miss or hit kind of a thing. You're gonna get a miss. And the other thing is having discipline when it's a miss day, to not buy things you don't want or will never use, which is hard to do sometimes. But I set a limit in my brain of how much I'm going to spend. Now, if I see something, or if it's a crazy day where there's a bunch of doilies and some other really cool stuff, well, it may go out the window. But for the most part, I just try and spend just a few dollars, but it's mainly just looking often enough to where, bingo, you'll find it, and then also too, a couple of places I go, the ladies there, I've shown them my junk journals. I brought them in and they saw what I did, and they get me, okay? Because at first they're like, why is this lady buying all these gaudy trims and stuff? She's got a horrible taste or something. And honestly, they get me now, so I'm on their email list, and they always, a few of them, not all of them, will let me know when stuff's coming in. So, all right. Anyway, that's it, guys. That is my reuse your junk jewelry. And I'm sure that if you go running around your house, you'll find all kinds of stuff that you can use. So I don't want people to think that they have to go out and spend a lot of money, because you really don't. You just really don't, especially with this kind of gaudy style, because I don't know, people aren't wearing a lot of it. So this kind of stuff, like I said, you can find garage sales, you can find all over. You may find it in your own closet like I did mine. Some of it I'm like, I can't believe I ever wore that. But, just check it out and then harvest your stuff. It's easy to do. It's not hard. And just be ready to, cut things apart and not have a problem with that. But I can see a bunch of things that I wished I'd have looked at yesterday. But, and like I said, I may use the stuff I ordered, but I don't think it was necessary, because I found enough stuff in here, that I can easily use what I have, And I think that's kind of what we get away from in doing junk journals, is that originally I think it was started to kind of use what you have. And, it's fun to go out and buy things, and it's fun to get different things to play with and whatever, especially now. I know a lot of us are like going crazy, but it's also kind of fun to find things in your own house, like materials and things like that, just from clothes, or like I did with pillows and that kind of thing, because that's a very good feeling in and of itself. Okay, so guys, I hope this was beneficial and helpful, and I hope everybody's doing well and having a little bit of time to do some crafting. I really I'm going to continue with the Gypsy Journal series, but I thought before I put everything away, which is an ordeal, I am going to just kind of, you know, give you my take on this, because I was trying to kind of, rather than put this stuff back in the shoebox, I was going to cut some of it up and everything, and I thought, well, I'll just turn on the camera so that you guys can kind of hang out with me and see what I do and where I get my stuff and that kind of a thing. So I hope it was beneficial, and I am going to have a giveaway very shortly, just a random one. So, you know, please comment, subscribe, like, whatever, and you will be entered in my drawing, and it's going to be a good one. I think I've gotten some things that I really want to share. I thought about putting them in my Etsy shop. I don't think I want to do that. Oh, excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. Just because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to go through them. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just give it away. It's not worth the trouble. Anyway, but if I have enough left over, I might. But I think I'm going to start giving some more stuff away on a regular basis. But I think I'm going to do it randomly. So I'm going to try and get back to once a week, at least once every 2 weeks. So, but it's just going to be, I just pop on and go, hey, this is what I'm giving away. And I will pay up to $10 shipping anywhere. And after that, if you want me to ship it to you like overseas, right now the cost is ridiculous. It's expensive to do stuff overseas, but a lot of countries are adding on an additional fee. So I think, you know, while the stuff I'm giving away will be good, I don't know that it's worth what it would cost to get it there. But that's your call. I'm not going to exclude people that are overseas. Now, some places are not taking anything, so from the United States or anywhere. So those places, all I can do is hold it for you until they lift all that, and then, you know, it's the best I can do. Alrighty then. So just be looking. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't. Part of it is I have to get the stuff together, but I'm gonna start doing more frequent giveaways, just because I like the hunt of going out and finding things, and a lot of times when I do, I get more than I need, and so if I want to get more things, you know, I don't want to have to feel guilty that I spent money, because, you know, I have already too much. But this way, if I share, I don't have to feel that guilt. And I also have more room to get more stuff. So, you know, my giving away is selfish in some ways, I know. But anyway, it's your bonus, okay? Anyway, so I guess I will see you next time. Not sure when that's going to be. I am trying to do my videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then either I'll put one on Saturday or Sunday. Not sure, you know, which day it'll be, depending upon my schedule. And anyway, that's what I'm going to try and do from now on out. Okay? Take care. Y'all have a good day.